No matter where I visited or lived, I just didn't feel like it was my place. Just think I love being here and love being home, and I feel happy and grateful, and when I leave I just want to be here. Yeah, beep beep. Honey, I'm home! Could make my eye go straight and the other one go crossed. My English name is Heather and my traditional name is Tlíngit. I'd say at this point most people refer to me as the fur lady or the sea otter lady. Here at my home on Tlíngit, what is now called Prince of Wales Island. The land, here is so vast, and just to be a part of that is really an incredible thing, and very grateful to have grown up immersed in my culture. I went away for quite some time and went away to school, and there was always a strong pull for me to come back here. I felt like this was my home. My great-grandma was a skin sewer, and I'm a skin sewer, and called our hakuste'i, which is our way of life. Just so grateful for what I have. Welcome to my home. I'm going to be showing you around today, and we're going to start with my smokehouse. I'm just very fortunate to have such an incredible father who has passed down, his knowledge and taught me everything I know, but also made sure I had the tools that I need to carry out our traditions. And this is one of them, and it's one of my most special spaces. So welcome in. This is a cold smoking method. It infuses our foods with flavor, but it doesn't cook them or change the texture of them. We process a lot of different foods in this smokehouse, anywhere from deer, seal, fish. The connection to your food is so important. It makes you appreciate it more, it tastes better. You remember who taught you how to cut fish. Something that was really important to my dad is to make sure we are self-reliant and have sovereignty, so we're able to get our own food, know where it comes from, and be able to take care of ourselves. And if you're able to do that, then you're able to contribute to your community and take care of your community so they don't have to take care of you. This was the first king of the year that I caught, 23-pound, nice fish. My dad told my uncle, he's an elder in Ketchikan, my dad told him that we were smoking fish, and he said, "Put me on the list." So when you guys leave tomorrow, I'm gonna send you with some fish to give him when you get off the ferry. You didn't know that, but that's what's happening. And he will be so happy to receive some traditional foods. And that's one of our values is, our elders are our knowledge keepers, and they teach us everything that we know. And it's really important to take care of your elders. And when they can't go out and harvest traditional foods, we make sure we always share more than what we keep. They deserve the utmost respect. They're our most cherished assets. We take really good care of our elders. My dad really wanted me to have the tools that I needed to be self-reliant, and so he milled all the wood and showed up one day with a cement mixer, and I feel like it was my dad's way of showing me how much he cared about me and wanted me to be able to carry on our cultural traditions and share those spaces with the generations after me, like my niece and nephew, and have those tools so I don't have the barriers that he had. We light the fire using a traditional method of rubbing two sticks together. Actually, we use MAP gas. When we put up foods in these spaces, we really have those memories, those core memories tied to them, and you tell stories, and that's how our culture has stayed alive for, over 10,000 years. It's not written down or documented online. It's all through that oral history and passing knowledge on while you're practicing your culture, while you're putting food in the smokehouse. You want to have good energy when you're processing foods, whenever you're sewing fur or anything like that. You want to put good thoughts and good energy into everything that you create. In this case, the fish, and show respect, not only for yourself, but for the fish and whoever receives it. So, no bad juju at the smokehouse. My property flooded like 4 years ago. There was a landslide on each side of my property, and debris from the slide blocked my creek, and the creek rerouted through my property. What saved my smokehouse was this stump. The stump is 10 feet wide, but the water divided around the stump, which protected the smokehouse. But the flood brought in so much material, about 2 feet of material. We had to dig 2 feet of rocks from around the base of the smokehouse, and it was actually underground. It took a long time to cut the shakes and slowly build this. So when the flood happened, I think most of the people that I know were worried about my smokehouse. This is a treehouse that was constructed for my niece and nephew. I love being an auntie. My niece and nephew are here often. My nephew was diagnosed with cancer last year, and he went through the process of chemo, and he had to go away for a while to Seattle Children's Hospital. And when he was gone, I told him, when you get back, you're gonna get a tree house. And so I had this built for him, and he's back and he's doing well. It is pretty exciting to see the joy on his face and my niece's face when they saw it. And if you come around this side, we pretended that some gnomes moved in, and so they painted little gnome doors. And the first thing that my nephew said was, "Well, I really need a TV up there." I said, "No, I built this for you so you wouldn't want to watch TV." I never really felt like I needed kids of my own because I have a niece and nephew, and I just love them as if they were my own. And that's the next generation. It's going to be taking over my smokehouse one day. So we just wrapped up putting the fish in the smokehouse, and any chance I get to be clean and wear normal clothes, I take. Because normally you're dealing with slime, blood, poop, flesh, fat. You have to put normal clothes on, and I'm bringing you to my salt shack. We've started calling it the salt shack, but as you can see, it's a greenhouse converted to my drying shed where I hang all of the pelts that I flesh to dry after they've been salted in preparation to sending them to the tannery. You can see up here, this is my first 4-point. I got last year or the year before with my dad. But welcome in. I'm excited to show you this space. I love this space. It's very unique. It's got a lot of different details, and it's evolved over the years. I got stuck in here once and I had to make a call, phone a friend to get out. So I decided to make a little pole where I can let myself out. See that? So we shut the door, get out of the weather, and we will not get stuck. I buy about 2,000 pounds of salt a year and use it to cure my pelts. When I started to dry pelts in here, I wasn't able to get them fully dry. So I plugged all of the open spaces, as you see here in the eaves, with insulation. Right here is a drying shed within the drying shed where I hang fish strips and jerky, deer jerky. I have a dehumidifier down here on the floor because we do live in a rainforest. It's super damp here, and it cuts down the drying time by at least half. I prefer to use this method over a dehydrator because you have a little more control over the process and timing. I've experimented with dehydrators and they tend to over dry fish and it gets crumbly, and I like to just watch it and check on my foods throughout the process and remove them when they're just right. So that's that space. My dad made some notes here. He must have needed to order tools or remember something, but I inherited this from him and I love it. This is a multifunctional space. It also serves as my storage shed. Got the vintage Makita saw here. This weighs about 60 pounds. A lot of them are inaccurately labeled. This is not packaging paper. This is a whale vertebrae. Oh my God, it's so stormy. The weather's so sheddy out. I actually didn't realize how many sheds I have until I was doing this tour. Should we do some more shed puns? Shed happens. Shed we go to the fur shed? Next, I'm going to take you to my fur shop, one of my favorite spaces ever. I'll get this out of the way. And right outside my fur shop, I have this humpback whale skull that I found. I think this is like a temporary home for it, but it weighs so much. I had a difficult time moving it by myself. I put this on my nephew's snow sled and I dragged it up the beach. I mean, you could see just how big this thing is. I think it's 8 feet long. Oh, no, kidding. So you will notice it's pink in here and I'll tell you why. So you notice a theme, Barbie, pink. That's because I started sewing skins when I was in 2nd grade. I had a deerskin dress when I was 8 years old. My parents had regalia made for me out of the deer skins that my dad tanned. And so this Barbie up here is wearing a buckskin dress that I made when I was 8, and I made her matching regalia to mine. I love my fur shop. I don't know, that, you know the Barbie movie theme where it's like Barbie land? Bright and happy place to work in the winter, and it's a place where it has really good energy, you put good thoughts in. I don't know, it just feels like a space where it's like, dang, you can do anything in here. My nephew drew me. This is me. Love that. And my niece made this for me. And of course, just little details here. You got clouds under there because I'm often cutting furs here, and you glance up and you could see little happy details throughout this space. Under here is my fur freezer. So that's full of sea otter furs, frozen. They're not fleshed, but I would thaw them in a large batch and then flesh them, salt them, and then hang them in the drying shed. You can see there's hinges here. This table rotates up and there's a hook here so I can, pull this table up, hook it, and then access my freezer and then drop it down. And this is a fur stretching table. So I can dampen a fur, block it out, dry it, and then it would be ready for your pattern to be traced and cut and sewn. So great use of space. This is a 16 by 16 building, so it's not that big, but I feel like it's just a great use of all this space and overhead storage. This is a dresser that came from my niece or nephew's room. They'd upgraded one of their dressers and we're gonna donate it, so I took it and converted it to like a work cart. So it has wheels. This is a scarf that I made. It has a magnet in it to hold those ends together. This is a sealskin coat that I made. This is probably one of one. This took 4 whole pelts, so about 2 or 3 years of seal harvest. I store my patterns in this top drawer, and sewing patterns are sacred. A lot of them have been passed down through generations, or in some cases, other families have shared their patterns with me, so I don't ever use those patterns to create items for sale. Just want to make sure we maintain, respect for clan property and other families' property and patterns, so we don't want to exploit those. So I know when there's a fire, you're not supposed to save anything, right? You're supposed to leave and just be safe. But if there was ever a fire, the one thing that I would save is my patterns. I would grab all my patterns and run out of here. You know, we have sealskin scraps, sea otter scraps, and all different colors of moose leather. And up here you see different generations of moccasins. So this is the first pair of moccasins that I made when I was 12. It took 25 years for them to wear through, so they lasted so long. These are a pair of moccasins that my great-grandma made from sealskin. And then these are the replacement moccasins that I made myself a couple years ago as these had worn through. So next to the Barbie is a pincushion doll that my great-great-grandma made. And someone in town had got that from her, so I keep that next to my first project. And yeah. For me, genetic memory is, despite all the attempts to make us not be here anymore, we're still here. I don't think that's an accident. And I've never met my great-grandma, but you know, my grandma didn't sew skins. My grandma was sent to a boarding school, so she came back and never spoke our language again. And there's like a whole generation where that passed down was missed, you know, and my dad luckily learned a lot from my great-grandma. And so that genetic memory is like, it's within you. It's a part of who you are. It's in your blood. So it feels good to be who you are. You celebrate who you are, and that gives me hope. I see a lot of youth learning and practicing our culture, a lot of classes. I just love seeing that. I think we have a bright, healthy future ahead of us. I love this space. I just feel like it gives me purpose, and it's just a happy space and somewhere you can, sometimes I just come in here and sit. I don't do anything. I just sit in here for a long time by myself in the silence, and I just love being in here.
From falling down.
They're so bad. Being able to show you these spaces, this is really a great reminder of how lucky I am to have such an incredible father and family, friends who have helped me construct these spaces, people who've really leaned in and helped me build this life that I have here. To be able to have, you know, this space here located right on the water where I can go flesh pelts, and, you know, the fat that comes off the pelts, the birds show up immediately and look forward to a nice meal. And that value, or that, you know, hakustei, that way of life that we live where we feel like we're a part of the land, we're a part of the water. And this whole setup and system and process is interconnected, you know, and it's really what activities I participate in really depend on the land, air, water, what's coming into season, what's going out of season. And it's just been a journey of growth for me, and I hope to always be a student and be able to pass that on.